Tides of Temptation, a fantasy by X-rated at Hard R Entertainment. Chapter 1, The Grind of Eclipse City. In the pulsating heart of Eclipse City, where towering skyscrapers cast long shadows over bustling streets lined with luxury boutiques and hidden alleyways of despair, Lila Voss carved out her precarious existence. At 25, she embodied a quiet resilience, her body a harmonious blend of soft curves and subtle strength, full breasts that rose and fell with each hurried breath beneath her fitted uniform, hips that swayed with an innate grace honed by endless hours on her feet, and skin the warm hue of sun-warmed caramel, smooth to the touch, yet etched with the faint lines of fatigue around her expressive hazel eyes. Her dark hair, a cascade of silky waves that framed her heart-shaped face, was often restrained in a neat chignon during work hours, though stray tendrils would escape, brushing against her neck like teasing whispers. Lila's days were a meticulously orchestrated ballet of survival, a delicate balance between the demands of her job at Elysium Bistro and the intellectual pursuits of her evening classes. The bistro, a mid-tier haven straddling elegance and efficiency, occupied the prime real estate of the financial district. Its polished brass fixtures and crisp white tablecloths provided a sophisticated facade for the harried lunchtime throngs of corporate executives and weary tourists. Inside, crystal chandeliers diffused a soft, inviting glow over mahogany booths, while the air carried the tantalizing scents of fresh-baked artisan bread and simmering herbs from the open kitchen. Yet, for Lila, it was a theater of relentless motion. She glided across the polished marble floors with trays balanced precariously on her toned shoulder, her slender arms, strengthened by the ceaseless lifting, delivering plates with practiced precision. Orders were committed to memory in an instant. Seared ahi tuna, drizzled with citrus reduction for the impeccably suited gentleman at table 7. A creamy wild mushroom risotto for the animated couple in the shadowed corner. Her voice remained steady and professional as she recited the daily specials, even amid the cacophony of clinking silverware and murmured conversations, or when patrons turned brusque. "Another round of espresso, miss, and make it snappy." A distracted businessman might snap, his gaze fixed on his sleek tablet, while another, emboldened by a second glass of Cabernet, would allow his eyes to wander appreciatively over the curve of her waist, eliciting a polite yet firm redirection from Lila. The physical demands were unforgiving. By midday, her feet pulsed with a dull ache in her sensible black flats, blisters blooming where the leather chafed against her heels, and her lower back protested the perpetual bending to clear dishes or replenish crystal water glasses. Tips fluctuated like the city's unpredictable weather, generous from the rare empathetic diner who recognized her quiet efficiency, stingy from the entitled elite who viewed her as mere backdrop. These earnings were her fragile bridge to stability, funneled meticulously into textbooks, tuition payments, and the occasional indulgence that kept her spirit from fraying entirely. As the lunch rush ebbed into the quieter afternoon hours, Lila seized fleeting moments of respite. Tucked into a corner of the staff break room, a cramped space with faded motivational posters and a humming vending machine, she would pull out her worn notebook, its pages filled with sketches and notes from her graphic design classes. Balancing a lukewarm coffee in one hand, she reviewed color theory principles or doodled logo concepts, her fingers, nails kept short and practical, dancing across the paper with a creativity that contrasted sharply with the rote tasks of her shift. These stolen intervals were her lifeline, bridging the gap between the bistro's chaos and the intellectual sanctuary awaiting her after work. Evenings brought a swift transition. Leela would clock out as the sun dipped below the skyline, shedding her uniform in the employee locker room for comfortable jeans and a soft sweater that draped loosely over her curves. A quick bus ride across the city, crowded with commuters, the air thick with exhaust and hurried conversations, delivered her to the modest campus of Eclipse Community College. There, in classrooms bathed in the harsh fluorescence of overhead lights, she immersed herself in the world of digital artistry. Surrounded by fellow students of varying ages and backgrounds, Leela absorbed lectures on typography and layout, her hazel eyes alight with focus as she manipulated software on shared computers. Assignments piled up like the bills on her kitchen table, designing mock ad campaigns by midnight, critiquing peers' work during group sessions, all while her mind occasionally wandered to the tips she needed to count at home. Fatigue was a constant companion, her body protesting the late hours with yawns she stifled behind her hand, but the spark of passion for creation propelled her forward. One day, she would whisper to herself during breaks, sipping vending machine tea in the dimly lit hallway. This will be my reality, not just a dream squeezed between shifts. Home served as both refuge and reminder, in a weathered brownstone on the city's fringes, where graffiti-adored walls flanked cracked sidewalks and the distant rumble of traffic provided a nocturnal lullaby. Lila's studio apartment was a compact enclave of faded charm, scarcely 500 square feet, with peeling wallpaper and a once vibrant floral motif now muted by years, and a solitary window framing a narrow alley patrolled by nocturnal cats. The furnishings were sparse, yet intentional. A sagging futon that unfolded into her bed, its fabric softened by countless nights. A rickety wooden table strewn with sketchbooks, half-consumed meals, and stacks of graded assignments. And a minuscule kitchenette where the faucet's rhythmic drip echoed her unresolved maintenance requests. Subtle, personal flourishes softened the austerity. Fairy lights strung across the headboard, emitting a gentle luminescence during solitary evenings, framed prints of her own designs adorning the walls, injecting vivid hues into the otherwise drab beige, and a resilient potted plant on the windowsill, its leaves straining toward elusive sunlight. Rent loomed as a perpetual specter, frequently settled tardily with contrite notes to the landlord, while her refrigerator stocked meager provisions, yogurt cups, wilting greens, and packets of instant noodles, hastily consumed between homework and sleep. In this humble domain, Lila unwound, her body sinking into the futon as she reviewed lecture notes or sketched late into the night, the balance of work and school a tightrope she walked with determination, dreaming of a future where her talents could flourish unbound. Her two best friends, Mia and Jax, were the vibrant counterpoints to her structured routine, injecting spontaneity into her carefully calibrated life. Mia, with her cascade of fiery red curls that danced like autumn flames and a lithe, yoga-sculpted body that moved with effortless poise, was the eternal spark of optimism. Jax, inked and unapologetic, her skin a living canvas of intricate tattoos over a frame honed by weightlifting and urban adventures, embodied fierce loyalty. One crisp Friday evening, as Lila polished silverware at Elysium Bistro, her fingers gliding over the cool engraved metal, the repetitive motion a brief meditation amid the closing rush, they ambushed her near the coat rack. "Lila, darling, you're fading faster than last season's trends," Mia declared, her emerald eyes twinkling with mischief as she leaned against the polished bar, her slender form clad in a chic leather jacket. "Pulse nightclub tonight. Drinks that fizz like forbidden secrets, dancing until the world spins. Come on, let that stunning body of yours breathe." "I can't afford the cover, let alone the hangover," Lila replied, her voice a soft melody laced with exhaustion, her full lips curving into a rueful smile as she untied her apron, revealing the simple blouse that hugged her curves. The fabric, slightly damp from the day's humidity, clung to her skin, accentuating the gentle swell of her breasts. Her mind flashed to the assignment due Monday, a branding project that would require her weekend hours, but the weight of her dual life pressed heavily, tempting her toward escape. Jax stepped forward, her strong hands, fingers adorned with silver rings, gripping Lila's shoulders in a firm, reassuring squeeze, their bodies close enough for Lila to feel the warmth radiating from Jax's athletic build. "Our treat, love. You've been grinding away here, dodging leers and spilling soups, all while acing those design classes. You deserve a night where the only thing spilling is champagne." Their persistence chipped away at her resolve, like waves against a shore, until Lila acquiesced with a laugh that lit her features, her hazel eyes sparkling for the first time in weeks. For once, she allowed the balance to tip toward indulgence, unaware of the tides it would unleash. They whisked her home to prepare, the trio crammed into her tiny apartment, laughter echoing off the walls as they rifled through her closet. Mia held up the black dress, a sleek number that Lila had splurged on during a rare sale, its smooth satin fabric promising to drape over her form like a lover's caress. "This one," Mia insisted, her hands brushing Lila's arms as she helped her slip it on, the material cool against Lila's warm skin, hugging her waist and flaring slightly at the hips. Jax added heels that elongated Lila's already graceful legs, and a touch of makeup that enhanced her natural allure. Lips painted a deep crimson, their plush texture inviting. As they stepped into the neon-veiled night, the city's pulse quickening around them, Lila felt a subtle shift, a stirring of anticipation that hinted at the whirlwind about to engulf her ordered chaos. Little did she know, the shadows of Eclipse City held secrets poised to unravel her world.